Okay, so cycling. This archetype gets a number of upgrades over its standard counterpart. And honestly, I think the biggest of the upgrades that this deck gets in Historic is the mana base. So these 1 mana cycling lands, Secluded Steppe and Forgotten Cave here, are really big upgrades for this deck. You know, the cycling deck in Standard, if you've played it, you know, it always felt like it wanted to play like 16 or 17 lands. And if you look here, this build's playing 23 lands, but 8 of those are these, so just 1 mana cycling card. So these are lands that are tapped if you're going to miss a land drop, but if you're not about to miss a land drop, they just let you turbo through your deck, triggering Drannith Stingers, triggering Flourishing Foxes, triggering Flameblade Adepts. One card that I was not particularly high on in this archetype in Historic was Hallowed One. However, Faithless Looting changes the dynamic on that a little bit. So Hallowed One says, I'm 2 cheaper for every card you've cycled or discarded this turn. And with Faithless Looting, this means you can put Hallowed One into play as early as the 2nd turn. So if you Faithless Looting and then cycle something for 1 mana onto, you've cycled once and discarded twice, which makes Hallowed Boy a 0 mana 4/4. And if you have multiple Hallowed Ones in hand, you know, you can kind of Burning Tree Emissary-esque put a bunch of 4/4s into play on the 2nd turn if you high roll a little bit. So I'm interested to see if Faithless Looting feels like it gives the extra oomph that this deck needed to make Hallowed One feel really pushed, or if this card still feels kind of lackluster like it did before. So let's go ahead and dive on into some Historic matches with this and see how it goes. I was about to check out your YouTube channel, and then I remembered you were still live right now. What's going on, Sugio? Thanks for the 14 months. Yeah, Hallowed One was the deck in Modern. However, the Modern deck got to play Street Wraith, which is an incredibly powerful enabler, as well as things like Burning Tree Emissary and Goblin Lore. So it had more enablers. Well then. This is an excellent start. I was enjoying Magic, and then Eldraine happened, just like the mood of the year. Ninja Eyes, thanks for the follow. So I think I actually cycle to start, because it lets me have more information to make decisions with my Faithless Looting. D's turn 2, easy game. I'm lucky professionally, chat. That's why I play card games here on Twitch. Go. They see the writing on the walls. Immediately rewarded for putting Soul Guide Lantern in my sideboard here. Thalia looks kind of nice as well. Sweltering Suns. I don't think this is a Sweltering Suns matchup. Honestly, Flameblade probably dies a lot. I think I'm going to cut those and bringing in Thalia as an extra threat. You don't want to trim too low on your actual cyclers in a matchup like this. Yeah, turn 4 kill. I think with the Thalia draw here, I was going to play Fox on 1, but I think with the Thalia draw, I want a Thalia on 2 against their deck. I'm pretty sure we want to hit our land drop here. We want 4 to 5 lands so we can cast our Zenith Flare. A double topped there. Nice. Okay, so you just keep riding our bike here, huh? Oh, it's a shame that we tapped. Yeah, I tapped my lands a little bit wrong here, huh? I could have cycled another one here. Is this a land? I think so. I guess not cycling this means I can cast it potentially next turn, which is nice. It's not strictly wrong. Bumblebee Tuna, thank you for the follow. It does leave Fox dead to lightning, Axe, you're right. You are correct. Hey, nice, Andy. Yeah, if you like modern, you'll probably love historic right now. Just like doing this and get rid of their threats. Faithless Looting, looking a little awkward here. Hey, Charizard, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Yikes. Isn't they have a shock? They can finish the Fox now. That was a pretty convincing first match. We are 29-7 with Boros midrange. I love that that deck is competitive in this format. It's just like so it's just such a good, honest set of cards. Monkey YOLO Swag 420. I think your username's missing a Blaze It, Monkey YOLO Swag. For people that haven't seen Red-White Midrange, Charizard's a great source of content too. There's also a video with that archetype up on my YouTube channel. It's basically just playing all the good red-white cards though. Elite Spellbinders, 4-mana Chandras, Glory Bringers, Adanto Vanguards, Skycleave Apparition's a real banger. Get a little foxy. Charizard's a good follow if you like historic content. He streams in the evenings. If you're looking for someone to watch here on Twitch when I'm not live. Until I work through the backlog in the deck queue work, I won't be adding decks of my own to it. But I imagine I'll probably get through my backlog of decks in the queue by the end of this week, and then next week I'll start putting things in again. They made a treasure token as opposed to looting. So they like their hand and they need mana. Probably a Gearhulk deck. You know, I wonder if I'm supposed to cycle twice to start in case I hit hollowed ones. Yeah, it's probably, I think my sequencing here is bad. I think I'm supposed to cycle twice to start before I play this.
Isn't a fight you can win. Keep up the pace.
You have another Helix here, we're probably in trouble. I think I cycle this, because if I draw a red source, I can looting to kill the Teferi.
Hold that thought.
Concede if this doesn't work. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. I could be right to play my land out so the memory looks less appealing. I just watched you do not one, but two successful Grixis decks on YouTube, and I thought this man deserves my money. Thanks for the support. Yeah, the Grixis decks the other day were gas. Both the Bolas mid-range and the In the Tainted Pack deck. The Tainted Pack variation seems super real. Honestly, if you had me pick, if you're like, Jeff, I want you to pick the best combo deck out of the new set, the new stuff, I think that would be my pick. Man, that's super rude. Why aren't you playing Grafdigger's Cage? I'm gonna keep this Zenith Flare to force them to pull the trigger on this, I think. Yeah, I know. I do not, Leaves. Too much time and money to upkeep. And Magic's formats haven't been particularly stable. Please go to my YouTube channel, like any reasonable person. So, man, Zenith Flare seems real medium here. Am I supposed to just cut it? Is it crazy to cut the flares? The graveyard being a contested zone in this format seems like it's bad news for this archetype. I think predicting what Wizards of the Coast is going to do with their ban list is most accurately done by throwing darts at a board. So they're incredibly inconsistent with how they manage their ban list. There's essentially no rhyme or reason to when they finally pull the trigger on doing things or not doing things. Look at me, I'm the DCI. It was supposed to be satire, but it's actually just an artist renditioning of how Wizards makes their ban list decisions. I'm gonna pull that one up for the Magic Zoomers at home. You need to see the artwork. You can't just. You can't just appreciate it by looking at the rules text. Okay, link that in chat, sure. Alright, with this draw, this is definitely a spell. Hey, what's going on, White Sticks? Good to see you around again. Hey, you've been pretty in tune with Runeterra stuff. Did they post their top 32 lineups anywhere from their seasonal tournaments yesterday? Or have they still not figured out how to post those the day of? Helix is a great addition to the format. It's a really solid Magic card. Just like subtly one of the best 2-for-1s that you can get in. You can get in these games. My boy, Flamescroll with the fire breathing. Yeah, hopefully. They actually never posted full metagame, full top 32 breakdowns for the previous seasonals, right, Samalander? Yeah, the anecdotal data that I saw, Violet Journey, means that the anecdotal data that I saw is not a good look for their format. Now that's not really good enough. I don't think they posted it. Yeah, that breakdown's not good enough, dude. They didn't give us actual deck lists. And that's the old one, and it's not actual deck list. It's just like rough. Mr. Black Kirby, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate you up in that Prime. Welcome back. Chris Tag, thanks for the 16 months. It's a while. Faithless Looting really feeling mediocre in these games where it's just like card disadvantage. Oh yeah, you take that one. You activate that Planeswalker. Sharton, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome to the channel. There's a ton of great people who can ship that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me employed. That's just rude. The good news is we can cycle 1 card on their turn. But I assume that Helix is going to have us locked, or Narset's going to have us locked out here at this point. This matchup really does not feel good. And from a theory perspective, I'd expect it to be bad with like their Narsets and stuff and their sweepers to stop our early plays. So it seems, I feel like if you have a bad Jeskai matchup, you can't really ladder with your deck at the moment.
I have just the trick for this.
Haven't been winning this match since Helix and Command came out. Yeah, Command's bad for you too, right? Because it gives them a main deck shatter for your what's it called? But frying your board. I mean, I've got rip aparts we can board in. I don't know. It feels like there's just too many things going on there, and like, as has been the case with Faithless Looting in every other deck that I've played it in that's like not Phoenix or Reanimator, like outside of Faithless Looting exactly enabling Hollowed One, Faithless Looting has felt bad every time I've drawn it in this deck so far. And that's been a very common theme in this format, in my experience so far, where like if you're not doing something incredibly busted with Faithless Looting, you don't have cards you actively want to put into the graveyard, it feels underpowered and bad. Faithless Looting's banned in Modern. It is banned in Modern. It did. Yeah, and in exactly that narrow edge case where you're like putting a thing into play, in exactly the case where you're putting Hollowed One into play ahead of time, it's like, it's good. But outside of that specific use case, the card disadvantages felt really bad. Yeah, this deck lives and dies by being able to churn through things. I can't think of how many times, like, a win or lose decision was made by the fact that, like, I was able to, like, find exactly the next cycling card that I needed. Hey, never kept 7. You would probably win more games if you keep 7 on occasion. Thanks for the bays. As someone who is an Electrolyze apologist, I do not think Electrolyze is very good in this format. I think it's much worse on average than the other options that you have. Prismari Command notably outclasses it at a similar mana cost, I think, in most situations. As someone who's cast many an Electrolyze. I think I'm just supposed to do this now to play around Helix. And Sweltering Suns and Anger and whatnot. Wrath of God.
Trust me, you'll thank me later. You need to take a time out.
Mother Tucker. That's a great, accurate descriptor of my feelings about Teferi. Nah, Tucker Carlson gets the expletive. He's a real piece of shit, chat. Oh, and at this point, we're just making these Zenith Flares lethal, right? Peace implies some sort of solidarity. He's more like an oozing puddle. It's funny because it's true. Am I cycling this or not? I probably want to be able to play around Censor, right? So let's put this into play.
Hold that thought.
It's hard to know if he's stupid or evil vulgar, but like, at the end of the day, the result's the same, right? That distinction, like, doesn't really matter anymore. How many of these are counterspells? Ugh. Alright, I guess we're doing this because I really need another cycling card so this Fox can attack through the Gear Hulk. Oh, damn it. Well, I guess we'll bin those and we'll play out this very scary Jackal. It's a Jackal! It's a Jackal! It's a Jackal! Our little pupper never stood a chance, chat. Captain Trips, thanks for the 3rd of the year. Welcome back.
No time for a break.
Does this cast out eat a counterspell? I guess I wanna make him deal with the Fox. I'm gonna cycle this. I need to get these back up to lethal too. He Helix this to finish it off. That's unfortunate. Gets some even more life here. Meta Magic Missile. Thank you for the 24 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I don't know how we ever get out of this. This matchup feels impossible. My cat decided to share my sub anniversary. I was gonna go with small child, but cats are like small children, right? Are cats like small children, or are children like small cats? Sometimes Jeff does things that make it seem like he's lost, but then I realize I'm probably just too much of a zoomer to understand. Accurate. Man, the Zoomers don't get Family Guy references, chat? I can't even, like, how old? Okay, so, someone hurt me. How old is Family Guy?
Keep up the pace.
Injure me deeply in my soul. How old is Family Guy? 2001. Oh, chat, Family Guy's almost old enough to drink. That's not okay. That's... Oh. 1999 according to IMDb. 22. I knew The Simpsons was old. The Simpsons is like 30 years old. Family Guy was like the newer Simpsons, though. Yeah, Simpsons predates me. What are the odds these resolve, chat? Is there a % less than 0? There's a Y2K episode of Family Guy. Ugh.
Hold that thought.
I have 7 lands here, chat. They need, if I draw an untapped land, they need triple counterspell. Thanks for the 5-1, Sergeant Breadstick. Oh no! And their counterspell is Absorb. Oh no. Alright, I'm gonna try and find a non-Gandalf matchup, which might be difficult. Like, this Jeskai control deck is easily the most popular deck on the ladder. Based on my anecdotal evidence. These various blue-white decks are the thing I run into the most, so. I can't think of anything that makes that matchup fixable. So if that matchup is popular, I don't think you can play this deck. We're gonna try and queue into something else to see how other matchups feel, but that one doesn't seem particularly winnable. Snacky Cakes, thanks for re-upping that Prime, welcome back. Why is Jeskai control Gandalf? Because you only play Jeskai control to feel like a powerful wizard. Hey, Johan. It's been a hot second. Welcome back to Hooglandia. Alright, sweet. Not Hallowed Fountain. Let's see how this goes. Alright, with that draw, this is probably a spell. Dos Arcanus, it looks like. This archetype won the Insight Esports 5K tournament yesterday. I think the Thalia decks are pretty okay against the Jeskai decks. So here's the thing though, D Price. I'm gonna look at the framing of your question. Your question asked what deck feels good against Gandalf, and the answer is none of them. That's why people play that archetype. That archetype makes your opponent long for the sweet release that only the concede button can give. Even when you are beating the blue-white control deck, you still feel bad during the gameplay. So, like, oh, I can play that for one. I was ranting. I'm gonna blame the ranting. But yeah, like, they're all a long struggle. And that, you know, we talked about this on stream before. The psychological perspective of those decks is really interesting, right? Because when you win a game with the Jeskai deck, you spend like 20 minutes winning that game. And when you lose a game with the Jeskai deck, you probably spend 5 minutes losing. So even if you're 1-1 with the Jeskai deck, you spent 20 minutes winning and 5 minutes losing, so it feels better than it actually is. Yeah, and I don't know how we beat the Kroxa from here. Even if I had a 4-4 in play, that really wouldn't be... Ugh. Yeah, Zenith Flare is our out here. It feels like we've initiated. This is the only looting art in the client, right? We don't have boomer card arts for these. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones the Japanese art. The Japanese art isn't available for purchase yet, right? For people in my chat, when you're referring to the Japanese alt arts, say JP or Japanese fully. JAP is often used as a slur, and it is not okay to use in my spaces. Please and thank you. Am I discarding this? No, I need a 4th land, right? Because we need to cast Zenith Flares at some point. And maybe we stall the board here. Yeah, using just JP is fine too. Maybe we stall the board and a Zenith Flare gets us out of it. But we've got a lot of non-cycling cards in our bid too. I take 9 here and go to 4. If I take 9, the problem is Kroxa. Like, just Kroxa's trigger is bad for us next turn. Sir Joe Chim and Calpernus, thanks for the follows. Their last card, Village Rites. Yikes. Alright, so we're not dead to this, even if they kill this and hit us with it. So I think we want to hit them for 4 here, because this makes a Zenith Flare off the top lethal, and we've got 4 flares in 39 cards. We are dead to claim. Yeah, I think we need to play to win line is put them dead to flare. Well, I mean, this buys us some more time, right? This gives us a redraw. Make cards in the graveyard. Enough to escape another, but that's not lethal. Yeah, they can double get us now. Oh, they missed it. So they had onboard lethal here. They could have cast a Kroxa with Luris and then escaped Kroxa, which would have put us to 1 and then attacked us with both, so. Not a super intuitive line if the opponent's newer to the archetype, pretty easy to miss. Or if you're just distracted, you know. One of the things I always like to point out when people miss things like onboard lethal is, you know, think about how many times at home you're playing Magic Arena and the only thing you're doing is playing Magic Arena. You know, you have kids or pets or significant others or friends around. Especially in the world of Arena on cell phones. Yeah, or you're watching a Twitch stream or Netflix or something like that. All right, so do we board out? Is it crazy to just like board these out because they get tagged by claim the first board and we just like plan not to cast these? We just like want to win with like Soul Guide Lantern and stuff, or Soul Guide with Zenith Flare and stuff, and Hollowed One maybe. Maybe we board in the Chandras. It could be right to trim the lootings because they might have graveyard hate post board, and like this on turn 3 is fine in this matchup. We do this. I'm bringing a Wrath of God. Actually, Wrath is probably better than Sweltering Suns. This cycles for 3, but that's pretty expensive. We had chili for dinner here in the Hoagland household yesterday too, min-maxed. It's a staple meal for us. This Flameblade felt so far fine. If I'm being honest, this deck as a whole has felt pretty lackluster. It doesn't feel like our linear game plan is super consistent. And honestly, you know, the way this format shifted, you know, Rest in Peace and Soul Guide Lantern are things that are very common now. And the fact that the graveyard is a contested zone in this format makes your Zenith Flares much worse. Is my wife a good cook? Who said my wife's the one that made the chili? It's quite the assumption. Chat, chili's super easy to make. You put it in a crock pot, you like stir a couple of times. Maybe this is wrong against the claim deck. honestly, you know, one of the biggest upsides to streaming Magic on Twitch is cooking related. Never having to purchase salt is one of the biggest upsides of streaming here. Okay. And this Fox go the distance? It's going for speed. It's all alone. You've got 2 non-cyclers in here. So it's at 6 currently. Your work pays for 1 meal a day since going remote. You get a DoorDash on the company every day. That's sick. Wait, they have no cards left in hand, huh? Alright, Foxy, I choose you. Ooh, wait, maybe I'm supposed to keep that one? If only it was an untapped land, chat. I think maybe I'm supposed to keep this so I can fight the Crocs the next turn. Like, discard this, fight the Crocs to kill them. Yeah, I think I missed lethal here. It's fine, found lethal. Bonk. Hey. Well, the Fox ended up working out there. If they boarded out some of their removal for game 2, they're definitely going to have it back in for game 3. They could have also just, like, not seen any, though. I'd be surprised if they cut removal against our deck. The Zenith Flare animation is deeply satisfying. The big box sound is very good. Agree. You put some kind of meat, substitute, and chili, or just go straight veggies? Nah, just straight veggie. Chili has beans in it by default, which are a source of protein. And you glob on some cheese and some sour cream in there. Yeah, beans are a meat substitute. Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna share the really stupid thing I read on a conservative piece the other day. That was great. There was someone spreading FUD about the new Green Deal. And the FUD about the new Green Deal is that the new Green Deal would make it so you could only have 1 hamburger per month. And they want everybody to eat vegetables. And it specifically called out that you would have to eat beer made from vegetables. And it was just like, where do you think your beer comes from? Where do you think your current beer, where do you think the current beer that you drink comes from? My beer is made entirely from fermented meat. Yep. It's just like, bovine beer. 8, slowly counting up. I think with the Chandra and the Wrath I got in hand here, we probably just play this out. They have no cards for Dreadhorde Arcanist in the bin yet, and they don't have enough to escape this, so we can easily just pass back. Don't need to pull the trigger on this just yet. I want to try and get the most cards out of their bin as possible with this. Flashback Faithless Looting. They want to dump more cards to the bin, that's fine. Banka Stew, thanks for the 29 months of Prime. Welcome back. Restore, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The threat of this card being on the table has value. And, like, if they don't... Let's say, if they don't Thought Seize us, we get to Wrath of God next turn before we pull the trigger on this. That's an interesting one. Not quite Relic of Progenitus, but close. Definitely worse against Zenith Flare, though. Okay, so now I need to exile their graveyard. Otherwise, they get to escape Croxa next turn. And then I think, well, this one gets to draw a card while exiling something. So while it's worse in some cases, it's definitely better in some others. I don't want to kill Dreadhorde Arcanist with this down tick because then I lose Chandra to Stitcher Supplier. So I'm going to play her, yeah, and then we'll plus her for mana and play the Stinger out here. I forgot to activate this. Well, that was a pretty good top deck. I guess they don't really get to do a whole lot here. They get to, like, kill my Chandra and then I get my thing back.
Nobody tells me what to do. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Am I casting this? I cast this. They, like, claim the Firstborn, attack in at her again. I can also decline and put them to 9. And then my Zenith Flare is only a couple cycles off. I guess if I put this into play, they attack and claim, it removes 1 blocker, they don't kill Chandra. Oh, yeah, it's better to put this into play. They can't attack with the thing they claim next turn. If they claim off of Arcanist, this is fine. This keeps my Chandra alive. It's potentially scary. Okay, so now they can turn one of these into a draw 2. Weird. Okay, I mean, I guess I kill this one.
You will regret this.
Yeah, I would get to eat the Arcanist with that line. You could theoretically kill them here, right? If I get 2 cyclers in a row? If I make mana from Chandra, hit 2 1-mana cyclers, they go to 8, and this is a 7. Not quite lethal. I'm gonna draw a card.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Okay. Oh look, they remembered their card has text. And then hopefully these are lethal next turn. They get to gain 3 here. Oh, they hit Spark Harvest. I think the opponents really made these strange plays other than missing the Scrambling Claws. If they escape Croxa, they're dead. We discard this, we attack them for 2, we Zenith Flare them for 6. Yeah, Croxa would make me discard the cycling card, and then Zenith Flare would be lethal. There's a reason I take lures off the table blocking with the healer. Yeah, I want to attack them on the backswing. If I trade my creature off there, I can't race them, Ninja. Okay. At this, I wonder if our opponent's gonna change the Scribbering Claws to Soul Guide Lantern after this set. I don't think we win this game if they have Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, Claws is much worse against us. It's probably much better against the Gearhulk decks, which I imagine could be challenging for the opponent's archetype. So, I don't hate the choice of Claws. It's actually a card I hadn't considered during deck building with a lot of these things, but David, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. This will probably be the last match before we change to something else. Faithless Looting, looking like Faithless Looting. Okay, Faithless Looting looks good when Hallowed One's involved. I think we bin Sweltering Suns here. Alright, so we got 3 shots at another hollowed one. 2 shots at another hollowed one. On one of my trips to the US, there was a place in Texas called Burgers and Machine Guns. It was a shooting range fast food joint. Oh, man. Faithless Looting lets us discard the bad cards like looting. Yeah, basically. I mean, like I said, the Faithless Lootings have felt really awkward for the most part, but they have felt good explicitly in this situation. This is our second time we've dumped double hollowed one into play on turn 2. We're just supposed to hop on our bike here. Oh, I should have tapped the white. I think we're cycling through this at this point. Might be a little greedy, but double hollowed friends might be enough to drag us across the finish line here. Casting Looting's not great against Thoughtseize, but they're Thoughtseizing us. That also doesn't seem terrible for us, so I'm just gonna churn here. It finds us to more cycling cards to make this better should they find a way to kill these. When they escape this turn, Zenith Flare is lethal. The animation and sound effect is so tactile on that card, it's real good. I think I liked our board plan. I think I liked our board plan from when we played this a second ago. We cut the Flame Blades, we cut the Faithless Lootings. I think we boarded in these, and the Sweltering Suns went out. It could be that Sweltering Suns is better than Cast Out. I mean, it's better than Go for Blood. Having cards that kill Arcanist seems pretty important, and this clears out Luris and friends too, which is nice. Hey, Murph. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate the support. Thanks for keeping me around. We've got a few new subs today. For folks that are new, be sure to check out the subscriber Discord server as well as our upcoming Hoaglandia Open tournament. If you enjoy playing Historic and want to play Historic in a more casual competitive setting, we call it. Our prize structure is very flat. Everybody that plays in the tournament gets at least 4 match wins, gets prizes. Sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., one of my stream sponsors. We do full coverage of the tournament all day on May 8th for that. Astral Slide, would that be playable? I feel like that's probably too slow and fair for this format. That's a 3-mana card, right? If memory serves. Exile target creature. Oh, that targets your opponent's stuff too. Maybe that would be good enough. There's some Modern Horizons versions, yeah. You know, honestly, so Modern Horizons 2 is coming out this summer, and while obviously that's not going to be an arena product, I really hope that we get, like, a historic anthology that has a selection of Modern Horizons 2 cards in it. That would be sweet for this format. That would be a good way to generate crossover hype between that paper release and folks that play Arena. Yeah, I do, Vulgar. Details on how to join here in the on my website. It's got a link your accounts up and pop on in. Got a very active server there that I myself take part in along with a bunch of other community members. Channels for Magic, politics, general gaming, life in general. All sorts of great stuff. I'm active in about half the channels. Or certain things like sports ball or anime that I'm not super into. That we still have channels for that other people use, but the things that are of my interest, I am an active participant in there. You know, honestly, I feel like the way this game is lining up and how it plays out, this is probably just a cycle to charge up Zenith Flare here. Drawing Luris, eh? With this draw, that's definitely a cycled land, yep. Okay, charging Malazer. One of my favorite board games. You know, it's hard to pick just one. These are some of my favorite general games, and then these are kid games. These are some of the ones that I've been playing with the kids. With the whole pandemic thing, Christy and I haven't really played games other than with each other and the kids, so. Woof, this person's got Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, so the good news is I don't have that many cyclers in my bin, so I just get to, like, do nothing here and then rip this apart next turn. They'll get to cycle it, so we basically get 1 for 0 because I'm spending a card and they're going to cantrip, but I gotta take this off the table because Zenith Flare is our best way to win this matchup. I have not played Eldritch Horror. Yeah, the metagame of the first few historic tournaments has looked super reasonable. Obviously, a few early contenders for strongest deck, but good variety in all the top 8s and the competitors in general for sure. Yeah, and we get to lantern it so that way they can't get it back with their cat next turn. Photosynthesis is a good one. Yeah, a lot of good resource management Euro games for sure. Wow, they're discarding to hand size? Is their hand just like all removal? I think I want to cycle proactively here because we could find a Holland one. Although, you know, honestly, gosh, would I even want a Holland one at this point to put into play? Because their hand's probably got removal. Harsh but fair. The opponent 1 for 0ing our lantern. How's Teamer 2 lands doing? We played Teamer Flash on stream Thursday or Friday, and it was excellent. It was one of the decks that helped us climb to Mythic. We played Teamer, Dead Guy Ale, and Mardu vehicles, and got from Diamond 4 to Mythic over the course of one stream. So if they don't Thought Seize us, we'll get to cast Wrath of God into Soul Guide Lantern next turn, exile the Pyromancer. Lightning Axe? It's an interesting one for their archetype, not a typical card. Exiling the Pyro so they can't go Luris into Pyro next turn. The Faithless Looting Flashback and the Fame are pretty whatever. And it feels like this waiting game favors us, especially with the Zenith Flares in hand. And like at this point, we're just like end step bonk you, untap bonk you, right? Trying to exile their bin, get rid of Croxa Fuel here. I also like don't want to spend a mana because I have Zenith Flare. Want to go bink bonk twice. Digging for that Thoughtseize here to stay alive. Swing and a miss. So 31 months worst neighbor. Welcome back. Athenex, thanks for the prime support. Tinkus, thanks for the prime. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so our opponent at this point is deterministically dead, but they're rank 1133, and I don't intend to play the standard format qualifier next month, so I'm gonna be conceding to people that are in the top numbers here, trying to lock their ranks at the end of the season. So, I don't want to put it on the stack because they might concede before I can, but I feel like we got on the scoreboard twice. I'm going to give this one more before we dive on into the next one. All right, in fact, before we dive into the next one, I've got 3 decks that all have the same number of priority in the queue. I'm gonna let you all at home vote for what you want to see next. Lorehold, Reanimator, Jeskai, Lorehold, Reanimator, Yarok, Landfall, Teamer, Spells. All right. It's been a little while since we've done a deck vote, so you can spend a small amount of bits or channel points to vote extra. This hand's super keepable because these cycles, so whatever gets the most votes there in the next 10 minutes will be our next deck of the day. And remember, we will play all 3 of these decks eventually on stream. In fact, we'll probably play the other 2 that don't win tomorrow. Like anything versus Yarok ever had a chance here. Bloodchief's Thirst, Ifnir, Deadlands. They could be, there's been a mono black aggro deck going around, so getting this life gain down could be relevant here. Alright, it looks like Teamer Spells is our third party candidate of the day. Jeskai, Lorehold, and Yarok Landfall fighting neck and neck for first place, so if you want your vote to count, pick one of the top 2. Yeah, looks like maybe not necessarily mono black. They got a splash here. I think this is probably is this a cycle? I don't really have a lot of velocity in hand, right? Gotta make our hand more agile and cycle this. Faithless Looting. Oh, you know what? I should have cycled this on my turn since my top card's a hollowed one. I'm gonna feel real sad. Don't punish me, don't punish me, don't punish me, don't punish me, don't punish me. Whew. Alright, so Faithless Looting. Okay. You're voting Teamer to send a message. Is that message that you don't understand how elections work? Yorick landfall with a strong lead. That doesn't surprise me. Long time viewers know we have a strong Yorick bias here on this channel. Or are they a Death Shadow deck? Weird. They're a Death Shadow deck with fast lands? Huh. Puts them to 9. This is 7 now. This will be 8. If they kill this, it's 9. New Gabe, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome to the channel. Sick. Oh, the last cycle can hit Howl again. I gotta remember to do that. I keep forgetting. We're good here, but yeah, I need to remember that that's a thing I need to play too. I voted like 20 times. I'm not getting my candidate. The election is rigged. Listen, chat. You gotta be a good loser if the thing you voted for doesn't win. No coups if you lose. Alright, so this feels like a matchup where I want to be more controlling and probably Zenith Flare them out. There's a chance they have Rest in Peace or something like that too, so Rip Apart's probably good. One big chunk instead of nickel and diming them seems ideal. I don't think I want Soul Guide Lantern here, so I'm gonna board similar to the Arcanist deck we just played against, only I'm not gonna play Soul Guide Lantern, release some Faithless Lootings in. Reichel and Nuka Day, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. This is going to be our last match with this one, and then it's looking like Yorick Landfall is going to be the victor. It's up 15 percentage points here with half the time to vote left. Howdy, Andrew. Of course you can, just saying. Happy Sunday. Hope your weekend's going swell. Okay. Fox on 1, hard to pass up. Got a Hollow Boy down the line. Raffers, thanks for the follow. Well, we will need another 1-mana cycler to Hollowed 1 on 3. Digger's Cage. Oh no, Jeskai Lorehold's catching up. The gap's being closed in the second half, chat. 15 percentage points is down to 5. Ooh. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. I think I'd rather hold cast out than go for blood. Ooh, Yarok's not going quietly into the night. We're back up 10 points. And now, like, so normally you don't want to hammer the life total of the Death Shadow player, but when they have a Danto Vanguard, you can kind of just attack them at will, because they could adjust their own life total as they want anyways. And again, remember, don't go too crazy on the voting. This is just for the next deck. We're going to get to all of these eventually. They're all in the queue. I just wanted you at home to get to pick which one is immediately next. How's this deck bad? It's really bad against blue-white control, but it's felt pretty reasonable against everything else. So I don't think bad blue-white matchup is inherently disqualifying, but we're all competitive, so it'll feel like a personal slight if our preferred deck is the next. That's fair. That's fair. And if you're not saving for Shillionaire, deck voting is the best use of your channel points. So if they put themselves to 8, they can put themselves to 3. So I die if I don't block here, right? Because of the Ifnir Deadlands? I mean, this is not a good use of my channel, but I mean, I usually see most messages in my chat anyways, so yeah, highlighting's kind of a spew. Need a blocker here. Untapped White Source would be great. Discarding the lands earlier was probably a punt. Yeah, I think I should have. I kept this Rip Apart over a 4th land, and that was definitely a mistake. Am I dead? They pay 4 or 5. All right, my opponent missed lethal because of, I think they're forgetting their Ifnir Deadlands this year. All right, and voting's coming to a close. Looks like we're gonna play some Yarok Landfall up next. Fair warning. The Yarok Landfall deck might be atrocious. It was a build-around submission, and I did my best, but not everything can be serviceable. So we're gonna give it the old college try, but it might be terrible. Also, we have 1,900 people in chat, and we had almost 3,000 people vote in this election. So I'd like to applaud Hoaglandia on our 150% voter turnout. We pride ourselves on secure and fair elections here. Thanks for the biddies, Oak. And Arcana Chance. Cashing in those channel points. Fair warning should come before the voting. Nah. Do I do build around submissions with ban cards for direct challenge stuff? No. All actual historic stuff. Especially like right now, like there's so many actual historic decks to play, and I'm not taking anything that are weird off formats. In fact, we played standard this morning. I'm not going to be taking standard submissions anymore. We're just going to focus on historic on this channel. It's actually not playing Risen Reef because the blue is a small splash. It's an Abzan deck with a splash for blue. Is this a land or a spell? I could wait to make that decision, right? We could play this on one, cycle something, and see what we draw. Bounce mulligan twice. Seems good for our hero. I'm gonna wait one more turn on this. Could go either way. Yeah, my plan is to not only allow people to use banned cards in an arena open at some point, but to allow them to use mystical archive cards as well. Like things that have never been legal. I guess you could technically consider those banned cards. Yeah, probably our open right before rotation. We're gonna do arena vintage, for lack of a better term. I feel like the way this is set up with the Wrath of God and the Zenith Flare, I want to just cycle these. Do I Faithless Looting to maximize the chance to hit a hollowed one? You know, honestly, I think I'm cycling a hollowed one here. Yeah, look, and waiting on this Secluded Steppe to figure out what we want to do with it. It looks like it is going to cycle. Arena Vintage, everybody plays blue-green? Maybe. My money is on Natural Order Elves being the most busted thing in that format. Dark Ritual is a good card too, that's true. I give him the old bink bonk here, chat. Yes, natural order is not currently legal in Historic. Ha! Nice distraction, Ninja. Sometimes you gotta refresh your thing. So our next open will be normal Historic. So I'm planning to do rotation happens in September. So probably like late August we'll do our vintage format open. Aha! Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. All right, so thoughts on this? Faithless Looting felt kinda eh. It was like good in exactly the games where we put this into play early and real mediocre outside of that. Another thing I kind of felt like Flameblade plus this plus Fox kind of felt like too much. Like, I felt like I had too many cards that didn't cycle for one in this build. Like, this is what, 14 cards that don't cycle for 1 mana? I kind of feel like I'd want to try this without Flameblade Adepts, and I think I might try and go down to 3 looting, because I really don't want to see it outside of the hands where it enables this early. and like drawing, like, I guess maybe 4 is fine. It's like when you draw 2, you like discard the second one to the first one. Yeah, Jackal Pup is like okay as a second early threat, but like Hallowed One also serves as a second early threat. The problem that this deck had in that set, definitely the Jeskai matchups did not feel winnable, and I just don't know how you can make that better realistically. Like, maybe Thalia, but like, they have Graveyard Hate, they have counter spells, they have removal to take your threats off of the table. It doesn't feel like any of our axes really line up well. Yeah, Footfall Crater's like okay. Like with the addition of Helix. Yeah, I guess Hallowed One doesn't die to Helix, so maybe that's worthwhile. Yeah, maybe Footfall Crater's the 1 mana cycler you play over Hallowed One, or over the Flameblade Adepts. The deck did feel very reasonable against everything that wasn't specifically blue-white based control though, so I don't know that I necessarily write it off, but I'm also not sure that that's a matchup you could fix. So, all right, let's